giving you the real surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with your host, Skywalker Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Oh, man. Oh, man. Good morning, good people. Welcome to the Skywalker Morning Show presented by Sleeper App. We are streaming live on YouTube, and of course, I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Boom! It's week 1. Pencils down. Turn the page. Football's back. Come on, man, used to say, what time is it? Game time. Nobody worry about that mess, man. We got Cowboys-Eagles week. It's time to look into this new look Cowboys defense as they get ready to take on this Super Bowl defending Eagles offense, which is going to be run heavy. So we're going to break all of that down from top to bottom. Got a little film, too. We're going to jump into the film room, take a look at how the Eagles run and how they ran on our guy, Kenny Clark, with the Packers. So there's some good things to take away from that game. There's also some things that we'll have to look into and hope the Cowboys can find a way to be better at in this particular matchup. Plus, in the roundup, we got some concerning injury news that we'll have to talk about because it does relate to the defense. And also, DB got that bag, didn't he, boy? DB got that bag. Shouts out to Daron Bland getting paid. We'll talk about that here in a second. But good morning, Bomb Squad.
Bomb Squad!
How are we doing on this beautiful Monday? I'm fired up, man. I'm so excited because this is the official start for me of the 2025 NFL season, where I'll be somewhere on your screens pretty much 5 days a week out of the year. And it's so dope how, you know, if you guys have been following this whole journey, the beginning of the year, starting a new channel, you guys show so much love. And I wouldn't be able to be here, I don't think, without y'all. So appreciate that, which means I'm going to pour everything into this season for you guys. Real quick, though, as you guys can see here, bottom, what's this? My left, your right, or something like that. Sleeper. Shouts out to Sleeper and Hog Media. Sleeper app is our new season sponsor for the show. So another big leap we're taking here on this journey. Well, there will be others as well as we keep going, but they are the show sponsor, presenting sponsor here, really even more than that. And again, this is not possible without y'all support. So shouts out to all you. I see you, Rolando, Katrina, Sadiqa, Hallelujah, Special K, Big Dow, J. Bryant, Mary C, 68, One Boy, Aaron, Oscar, all y'all. It's not possible without you. Okay, so I appreciate that a whole lot. We're going to hear from Kenny Clark as well. Not the entire presser or interview, I don't call it a presser, but something I think that again pertains to the defense. A little bit of a scouting report on him, and we're gonna hit this breakdown. It's time. Look, this year, if you guys are new here, this is how we operate. The game happens Monday. For me, I'll allow you and I to have an emotional reaction, similar to the trade, right? Hey, it's okay to have an emotional reaction. Then we pop on the tape. Then we talk about what the tape says, the film says. Then we move on to talking about the next opponent. So that's kind of where we're at right now, is we're moving on to talk about the next opponent. So enough of me talking. Y'all here for the football. Let's get into it.
It's time! It's time! It's time!
It's time. It's time.
It is time for...
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Let me talk to you.
Let me talk to you, Cowboys Nation. So we're just all sitting around chilling, waiting for the next domino to come down, and we know what that next domino was, right? Somebody was finna get the bag. We just didn't know who it was going to be. Then we get the breaking news. Cowboys cornerback Daron Bland gets a 4-year, $92 million extension, $50 million guaranteed. Shouts out to you. DB has been among the league leaders in interceptions since he's come into the league. We all know, right? A couple years ago, he was the pick six king. But what people often forget about is the year before that, his rookie season, he also had like 5 picks. At one point, him and Trayvon Diggs were the 1 and 2, I believe, in interceptions over a specific time period. And Daron Bland gets hurt in 2024. Prior to coming into the season, comes back, and it's not necessarily a great year for DB. When you go back and you watch it, like, okay, you can tell I feel like you could tell he probably was still trying to figure out the knee injury or the foot injury, the confidence, etc. But the kid works hard. The kid's the right kind of guy, right? We talk about that, the RKG here in Dallas a lot. And he is talented. Now, I'm not going to get into the money. Y'all know how I feel about it. I'm over that because if you want to pay these type of guys, and go out and get other players, you can. Now, people are going to say he's overpaid. That's your prerogative. You can have that opinion. I think this is a really good player. And what makes him even more valuable is that he can play inside and out, and I think he can play inside and out at a high level. Now, with that said, he does have to bounce back. Last year wasn't a great year. I believe, he came back and got scored on 4 times, a high completion percentage rate when targeting Daron Bland. Just wasn't the DB we saw. Refreshed, healthy, new bread, focus, a scheme that I do think can lean into what he does well. He breaks on the ball well. I think he's smart, high IQ. He can tackle. He's physical. I expect Bland to have a bounce back year. I do. What's good, B-Burp? I expect Bland to have a bounce back year. And something that you guys have been saying on the interwebs. Hey, now that he got the bread, there shouldn't be any any issues about sliding inside or not. Facts. However, I didn't care if you had an issue. If I feel like you're best where I need you to be and you don't, you got to play where I need you to be. I'm the coach. But we don't got to worry about that now. DB got the money. And if they need him inside, he shouldn't have any complaints. If they need him outside, he shouldn't have any complaints. This is a good thing for him and for the Cowboys as we move forward. It will be interesting, though. Let's put a pin in this. After the season. I still stand on Diggs having to prove something to the front office. I personally think that Diggs, when he's playing, Diggs is a good player. But this is going to be very interesting to see how they move. And this is a conversation for later in the year in the offseason. Do they look to move forward now that they have Daron Bland and Revel in the building, or do they say, hey, let's keep these guys together? I think that'll be up to Diggs, just being completely honest. That will be up to Diggs. Here he goes, toxic time in the building. Some injury news. Yesterday, Daron Winfrey exited practice early with a back issue, and early reports, and if anything has come in since then, early reports are it's back tightness as the initial diagnosis. So, nothing too crazy per se, back tightness, although you don't like to hear about back, especially with the player who's going to be in the trenches and every play is basically a car wreck, a lot of stress on your back. He's a lengthy player, tall, so, even worse if you ask me. So this is something to monitor over the next couple of days because to me, Winfrey was a guy that I thought was going to be a part of the 4 that would play on game day if they elected to go with just 4. But good thing they went out and got Kenny Clark, huh? Yeah, good thing they went out and got Kenny Clark, baby. So let's kind of get into that aspect real quick because we are talking about the Cowboys defense, and Kenny Clark is going to be a part of this Cowboys defense moving forward. He will be playing this Thursday. I know there was some concerns maybe of that because the trade happened so late. Here's a good thing, right? And that's what we're going to talk about is the good part of this entire situation. This guy still can play. This guy, yes, had a down year last year, but to be fair to him, he was dealing with the foot injury, the toe, the foot, what have you. But even with that, you saw some of the traits. He's going to be on the 30 side of things, but he plays in a position where that doesn't really affect it too much. He still should play at a high level. Now, is he going to be peak Kenny Clark that he was at 25, 6, 7? Probably not, but he will be better than anything the Cowboys have had here, in my opinion, in a long time. I had put this out on Twitter. I said, and I don't like to do the comparing Cowboys players, just more specifically the 90s and things like that. Y'all know me. I don't like to live all the way back there. But I try to think, when was the last time the Cowboys brought in a player of this caliber on the interior that wasn't drafted and or signed a free agency? Because you can go and you can say, well, David Irving, right? And it took me back to Leroy Glover. So, all right, cool. Let me go check out the Leroy Glover situation. Leroy Glover was brought in non-draft, right? Wasn't trade, but non-draft. Leroy Glover, penetrating 3 tech, a little bit more penetrating than probably Clark, but they played similar styles. Both wore number 97 with their former teams. Kenny Clark, 97 in Green Bay. Leroy Glover, 97 in New Orleans. Both getting paid good amount of money to be here, and both coming in with still juice left at the tail end of their 20s. Clark he's 29 now as brought in. I believe Glover was 28. If he can be, I don't want to say half as good, because I don't want to say that. If he can be as good or just a smidge lower than what Leroy Glover was for the Dallas Cowboys, massive, massive dub for your boys. Massive dub. And look, I'm not saying he's going to be Leroy Glover, but what I am saying is, barring injury, he will be an impact player for you. Enough to get you over the hump and whatnot. That will entail more players coming in. I don't think this is an Aaron Donald, right? This is not that type of player, but this is a very good player when healthy. You hope that the foot thing doesn't follow him around. This is a guy that has a fantastic get off. If you talk to or listen to people around the Packers, they said, hey, he looks even more quicker than before. It's a guy that I think is a scheme fit. He can attack upfield. He's also a guy that can play the run. Now, he's not your 6'5", 6'6", 330, 40-pound guy that, I want to say Flus likes 340, but he likes the 6'6" guys. He likes that 6'6", 320-ish or 6'6", around what he is, or 290, 295. So he likes the length. Clark ain't length, but it doesn't matter. He doesn't need that. He still can be more of your Grover Stewart type. And he had Grover Stewart, right? But let's take a listen to Kenny Clark in his first sit down or what have you with the Cowboys. Just a quick clip about his fit here. Shouts out to our guy, Patrick No C Walker here.
Obviously, you played several seasons with the Packers, and Eberflus, who's now your defensive coordinator, he was head coach in Chicago. What do you know of his defense, and what can you be in his defense? Man,
it's attacking front. We trying to stop the run and get after the passer, getting upfield. I'm here to play ball, man. Whether it's nose tackle, 3 tech, I'm just here to be the best defensive tackle I can be.
Just here to be the best defensive tackle I can be. Here to play ball. He can play nose. He can play 3. In Green Bay, he was their 3. Stackhouse and I believe the other guy, I think it was White, and him mostly was playing a 3-tech situation. But I believe Stackhouse, and I can't remember the other player's name, they were the 1-techs, and you'll see that on film a lot. But again, this scheme is interesting because it doesn't rely solely on kind of that trash can full of dirt, 2-gappy 1-tech guy. They want everybody getting upfield. I don't care if you're 340 or 290. Get your ass upfield. That has its pros, it has its cons, but he fits this mold. You guys know how I talk about the know-how. For those who are new, I often bring up, hey, you can be a Mozzie Smith, you can be a Jay Toia, guys that I actually like coming out defending the run. But there's a certain know-how in doing it in the pros that does either A, take some time, or B, you just have to be physically just better than everybody. A guy like a Dexter Lawrence and Vita Veas, the Quentin Williams, they weren't the all pros right away, but you saw like, oh, okay, these dudes are just physically different type of cats where they flash early on. Not everybody's like that. Not everybody develops that know-how or is physically just gifted in that way. Kenny Clark has the physical tools, and Kenny Clark has the know-how. He understands how to use his leverage. He understands how to attack in the specific scheme. You'll see some plays here. In fact, I don't think I clipped up one play, but you'll see some plays where you see and feel the IQ of a Kenny Clark versus some of the young guys that we've had here. Bottom line, before we get on to the Eagles, this is the prototype of defensive tackle we have been waiting for here in Dallas for quite some time. Now, it'd have been nice to get that and keep Michael, but can't cry over spilled milk. He gone. You got Kenny. Kenny's going to help that interior. I said this on Twitter. Between him and Osa, man, that's for people that love to watch film. That's going to be so much fun to watch after every week. Is seeing these two guys be able to tear it up. Now you're just going to need your edge rushers to find some momentum and be able to, when it is time to pass, get to the queue. Whether that's pressure in the queue, sacking the queue, what have you. And if they do that, now we're talking about the defense taking a step in the right direction. All right? Now I'm talking about the defense taking a step in the right direction. So let's begin turning this page here and get into this Philadelphia Eagles breakdown. For those who are new, what I do every week is we take an extensive look into the upcoming opponent. So you'll hear me talk about the coaches, you'll hear me talk about the scheme, we'll talk about the players, and then we'll talk about how the Cowboys can combat. We'll look in the film, how the Cowboys can combat what they do. With the Eagles, we know who they are. They are who we thought they were. And we better not let them off the hook. Now, there's some tweaks to, slight tweaks to this season for the offensive side of the ball. And what I mean by that is Kellen Moore is no longer on this team. They will have their third offensive play caller in the last 3 years. And while, yes, there will be some slight changes, some slight tweaks, I don't really see it being a drastic change because they have a foundation of what they like to do. The new offensive coordinator is Kevin Patullo. He's taking over for Kellen. And Patullo's been there for 4 years. This is his fifth season. He was their pass game coordinator. So, again, I don't think there will be some type of shock. I don't think there's going to be some crazy transitional period. If y'all remember, Sirianni, when he had Kellen Moore early in the season, they had a period where they had to figure some things out because Kellen came from a different philosophical scheme. It was completely different than what Sirianni wanted to do. I don't think you'll have that. I'd be quiet, Siri. I don't think you'll have that with Patullo. I don't expect much change. Never really was a team that liked a whole lot of motions and shifts pre-snap, but they will do it. They were 19th last year in total motions and shifts. They'll do it, but they won't do it at a high rate. Not necessarily a very clever or innovative offense. More smash mouth, run down your face, hat on hat, pulling guards, pulling centers, pulling tight ends. They want to run the ball a lot. And like I said, under Kellen Moore, there was that weird period, right? They were 2-2. We was feeling good, right? Hey, we tried to tell you, Kelly, hey, feeling good. Jalen Hurts threw the ball 30 plus times, 4 straight games coming out of the season, 4 straight. Jalen Hurts was leading the league in turnovers, if I'm not mistaken, during that time. There must have been some come to Jesus moment that they had, because after that, turn the rate on. If I had to imagine, Sirianni probably was like, listen, brother. See those numbers right there? Top 5 rush offense across the board. First in attempts, second in yards, second in touchdowns, 5th in yards per carry. That's who we are. Lean into who we are. And they did that. As we dive inside the numbers here, Jalen Hurts after that week 4 game, only threw the ball 30 or more times once the rest of the season. Week 15, one time. The first 6 games, Saquon Barkley only had 2 games where he had 20 plus carries. The 14 remaining, that happened 11 times. And twice he only had less than 19 carries. So I don't expect that to change. Excuse me. I don't expect that to change for the Philadelphia Eagles. No doubt about it. They will lean into this run game, and you're going to have to be ready for it. And they're not afraid to keep running. Unless the Cowboys can get up, 14-3, 21-7, 17-3 type situation, they'll just keep running the ball on. That's just the fact of the matter. Now, how they do it, you get a ton of read option. You guys know that. They thrive with that with Jalen Hurts. You may even see more of it this year because, again, that's not something that was in Kellen Moore's wheelhouse. I think they kind of had to beat him upside the head to do it, and he did. Eventually, he did. Stoutland, who is likely the best offense line coach around, Bill Callahan should be passing the torch to him. He's going to get these guys and lean on you. He's going to get these guys to wear you down. They have a big offensive line, a talented offensive line, and that left side is huge. You're talking about Maliata and Dickerson, who, if he plays, combined, that's what, like almost 800 pounds? You're talking about 700 some pounds just leaning on you there, roughly. Just kidding. But you're going to get a lot of them attacking the boundary with Hurts, or in a clever way, you'll see them do that with Saquon, but don't get it twisted. You'll get a lot of that GT pull that they want to hit the B gap, A gap. They'll run right at you. They're not afraid to do it. While they're not bland in how they run, they aren't ultra clever, but they use some things to get you off your rocker here. Some at snap motion, not a lot, but some of it, just enough to get you to pause for a tick. They'll do a lot of pulls. Misdirection this isn't going to be an offense where you look at Shanahan, McVay, and it's a lot of McDaniels. They're going to do some of that, but not to an extent where, man, you just saw 5 shifts in motions prior to the snap. Nah, that's not really their game. They know who they are and they lean into that. And at the end of the day, they just have better dudes. So it's going to take a collective effort up front to stop this run game. And yeah, I'm spending a lot of time on the run game because that's who they are. Now, it's easier said than done to stop this Eagles, especially with Saquon Barkley, but that just is what it is. The Cowboys had some success doing that in the first matchup before Cooper Rush threw for 45 American football yards. And that went out the window. But they had success doing a little bit of that early in that game. Different scheme, right? Different situation. This scheme is going to be much more of an attack front, much more relying on guys being sound in their gaps, much more relying on these linebackers to get downhill real fast. But if they can contain that, now we're forcing Jalen Hurts to throw the football guy. And look, I'm not a guy that bashes Jalen Hurts. I let the internet go back and forth with Jalen. I think he's a good quarterback. Do I think he's Pat Mahomes or Josh Allen? No, but he beat them dudes. But no, I don't think he's those guys at all. But if I had to go into a game and you say, all right, let me pick. Who do I want to beat me here? Saquon Barkley, the offensive line, Jalen Hurts and his arm. I think I'm going to go with Jalen Hurts and his arm. With all due respect to Jalen Hurts and the weapons that he has, I will take my chances, just like when they started 2-2, opposing defenses did. They took their chances with that, and Hurts did what? He turned the ball over, hold the ball a lot. He holds the ball longer than any quarterback in the league, maybe except Shedeur Sanders. But that's not I don't want to knock on Shedeur. Shouts out to Shedeur, just having fun. But if that's the case, if he does, and he will, hold the rock, that's where this pass rush is going to have to find its way home. Now, last year, ironically, Hurts didn't really hold the ball to throw it a lot. He held the ball and scrambled. This is where you're going to miss probably having a DeMarvion Overshown type. I don't know that you have that. I mean, I could tell you right now that you don't have that. You do have an athlete in a Murray. I don't think he's as twitchy as Demo. Maybe they play some spy technique with a Dono, but I will be fascinated to see how they attack the situation. We saw how Quinn did it a while ago. Wasn't enough. We didn't have enough, I think, data to really get a grasp of how Zimmer wanted to do it because he didn't have his guys. But we saw how they used Dono years ago to be that kind of spy guy against these types. Had some success in 23, right? Blew them boys out. So it'll be interesting to see how they attack it. Now, before we get into some of this tape right quick.
Obviously, you played several seasons with the Packers.
We already listened to my guy. I want to talk about Sleeper, man. I'm really excited for this. For those who know, when we do our DFS stuff, we have a lot of fun with it. But today, I just want to introduce you guys to the Sleeper app. If you're not familiar with it, get familiar. If you think you know football, then try your football knowledge, turning it into money with the Sleeper app, the ultimate fantasy sports app that can turn your game day into payday. Am I right? Turn your game day into payday. Just download the Sleeper app and pick more or less on your favorite players. With more stats than any other fantasy app, just choose 2 or more of your favorite players from pregame or live. Pick more or less from the predicted stats, and you can win up to 100 times your money if your picks hit. Use our promo code STEELE, STEELE, and you will get up to $100 match on your first deposit. That's STEELE, STEELE. Yes, indeed. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms for use for details. Currently operational in 25 states. Check out Sleeper today. Yeah, you see it right there. Get a $100 deposit match. Get a $100 deposit match up to $100 by using the code STEELE, STEELE. Now, at the end of the week on Friday, I will have my picks for the games. They'll be up here. I'll show you. And, look, if you use my picks and you hit me up. We'll get it out here on the show as well. Just saw a super chat come through. Appreciate you.
Super chat.
I'm gonna try to get to these early as opposed to late because I always forget. Patty dropped 2 and said Mozzie has the most potential of any defensive tackle in the NFL. We trolling? I mean, I will take paid trolls all day and tomorrow. Yeah, appreciate you, Patty. Keep them coming. Keep more of them troll comments coming, man. I know you're playing. Special K said it's too early, gang. We trying football today. All right, before I get to some of this tape, let's wrap to 215. By the way, if you want to call into the show, 351-999-3787 is the call-in line. What's good with your 215?
Nephew, how's it going, bro?
I'm good, man. Just breaking down this game.
In a while. Yeah, haven't talked to you in a minute since you went ham on me, put on a do-rag, and said Dak wasn't forcing throws in the end zone, and you hung up on me, but that's okay.
Damn, I put the do-rag. Damn, this must. So what's your name? Let me save you real quick, because if I gave you the do-rag, you gotta be saved.
It's G from Philly. Stop drawing.
From Philly. Did you get a new number or something, G?
No, same number. You didn't literally put the do-rag on, but you went do-ragging on me, and then you banged on me. I said, damn.
I put the do-rag on a lot of people. Don't say I banged on you, because I don't just bang on nobody. I let you get your nonsense out, and then it's time for me to talk. If you talk over me, then you're getting banged, because it's my show. But you know how that goes.
No, I wasn't. I was letting you go, well, and I don't know what happened that day, but you banged. But
you probably was talking over your boy. You know, hey, big dog, I do the talking over. But what's on your mind, G?
That's okay. That's 3 quick things. 1, did you sign your son up for gymnastics yet?
Listen, dog.
Well,
I don't know. I don't care how mad my son get. We not going from football to gymnastics over some damn football player. I feel bad for JR. Shouts out to JR and his son. I hope he has a fantastic gymnastics season. But we keeping it play over here, G. So go ahead, bro.
That was hilarious. Last two things. One, I don't want to go down a rabbit hole. I didn't get a chance to vent because I couldn't call in.
Fair enough.
But I just want to address the young man, the 40-year-old young man Friday, who said it was 60% Micah's fault and 40% Jerry's fault. And if he don't believe in his mind that Jerry tried to pull a fast one and get Micah in that damn room and talk some bull crap, if he doesn't realize that in 40 years of his life, then my man, I know I seen him in the chart because he said he blamed Micah for going into the meeting without his agent, yada, yada, yada. I just want to say I've been in those rooms. I've been in executive rooms. We all know how it goes. To be 40 and to say if you had a son, when you get a son that has Micah's talent and is in the NFL, then you can make that comment that you would say, oh, that's your fault, son. You're a grown man. You shouldn't have went in there without your agent. But for him to think that, to me, that's just crazy. That's just crazy.
Yeah,
And then
there was
Go
definitely
ahead.
mistakes made on Parsons' ends that helped it get here. There's no doubt about it. Everything after that, from whatever happened in March on, this is why I said his biggest mistake to me was reporting. That was his big. It was even going in. If he just stays home and do whatever, I think this gets resolved. But everything after that helped lead up to this. He's not void of criticism from that standpoint. His other mistake initially was definitely getting. I don't want to use the word coerce, right? But going in there and talking to him. I doubt Lamb did that. I know Dak didn't. Dak straight up, you talking to my agents.
Exactly.
Zach's not doing it. Nobody's doing that. You talk to the agent, and I think this was actually probably, if I had to just guess, G, this seed was planted back when he went to that Super Bowl with him. You remember that? And maybe, remember Jerry thought like, oh, this could be one of my good old boy, and that ain't the case. Y'all not, that wasn't tight like that, and so I think maybe that was what the seed was.
Wasn't tight as you. Right, wasn't tight as you thought he was. Yeah. Hey, did he have Mulligata at that time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, that's going to be scary too with Pickens with Mulligata. I don't know how that's going to work out. But second and long, and third and long. What the Eagles love to set teams up, we fell for it several times. Third and long, Hurts go back in the pocket. They send all the receivers out, and then he runs. And all they want to do is either get the first down with his legs or get fourth and short. And they're going to do the tushy-pushy. So third and long.
Tushy-pushy's crazy.
Third and long, that just drives me crazy. He's not passing. He may pass, but from what I've seen, I think it's 80 run, 20 pass. So I don't, like you said, we don't have Overshown. We don't have a spy. So those third and long downs, I think is going to, be a problem for us. So just wanted to get that out there. Good luck with everything. Keep doing what you're doing. CB Nation for life. Let's go on Thursday and do what we do.
Let's get this done. Appreciate you, G,
Appreciate
from Philly.
Peace.
I get a couple more before we look at this film. D Shift, what's up with you, D Shift?
Hey, what's up, bro?
Long time. How you doing, brother?
Morning. All right, man. Morning to you. Now I was looking at as far as the benefits that y'all been talking about, as far as having a defensive tackle that's going to give you more depth. Kind of the same way George Pickens comes in and allows Tolbert and all those guys to fight for that 3 spot. Kenny comes in and pushes the depth chart down, so we put a piece at the top versus putting something that's going to compete with the likes of Mozzie or Solomon Thomas, so to say, So you got a guy to come in and solidify that for you. And maybe the matchup, hopefully, with, I think their guards are pretty banged up.
I think Dickerson I'm not sure if he's going to play, but yeah, he's banged up. And I think Jurgens a center though. Never mind, Jurgens center.
And then Kenyon Green, also the backup, he has some going off the shoulder.
Didn't they cut him?
So maybe that
or did they bring him back?
Okay, well maybe they cut him. Man.
I believe it's Tyler Steen is the starter. If I'm not mistaken. I got you though.
Yeah, Steen and Dickerson are on either side, but I think just the backup position overall, if the guards are it's pretty questionable. It's a lack of depth.
Gotcha.
So maybe they can take advantage of that, kind of slow down that running game. Maybe your linebackers can be a little bit better than what you had last year with Eberflus and just new talent overall. We still, at this point, it's exciting there's no more layers that the Cowboys can kind of put up, how they like to do preseason. Like, the product is what you're going to kind of grade it for the most part.
Yeah.
But with that, that being said, I think the running game is definitely still concerning. So that's just something else that's going to be exciting to see or lack of. So, man, I appreciate you, bro, and just keep doing what you're doing, man.
Thank you, D-Shift. Appreciate that, man. Good stuff there. Not too crazy. I know. Look, I ain't going to lie to you. I thought, because I didn't get a chance to get to everybody on, was it Friday? When we were kind of still in the emotional stage of the trade, and boy, oh boy, the cause was wild. I thought we'd get a couple more today, but so far, so good. And again, if you want to go crazy, feel free. That's what the phone lines is for, man. Let y'all get y'all take off. But be warned. I'll let you say some nonsense, and then when it's my time to go, you might catch a do-rag. Can't promise you. But it's all love. We want the same thing, It's all love. All right, let's real quick get to. I want to show a couple plays. From this Eagles Packers matchup. Now, I'm going off of this because obviously Clark was there, and the game I'm showing is a playoff game because high stakes or what have you, and some of the things that they're going to be doing in this game that they did in this game, I think they're going to be doing to the Cowboys. Now, it's a matter of how the Cowboys adjust to it. The two matchups against the Packers, however, and the Packers technically had a solid to good, really good run defense last year. But in this game, or these games, the Eagles averaged over 150 yards on the ground. So they still had success. Barkley still had success. I think he averaged something like 4.6 yards per carry. So they didn't stop them, but you see some plays where it happened. And I want to get to some of those plays where that did happen. And I want to get to some of the plays where, Dallas is going to have to be better than, if that makes sense. So let's just kind of talk about, I think, like 5 of these plays. On this one here, this is an example of the Eagles using some of that jet motion that I talk about to hold the linebackers for that tick, and also using the defensive line's attacking traits against them. I mean, about the defensive line attacking traits. Kenny Clark is a guy that wants to attack, get upfield. That's something that he can do and has a really good ability to do. But you're going to see this wide receiver in the frame here in a second, screaming across the line of scrimmage. And this is why I think at-snap motion is important. This isn't anything crazy. It's just basic at-snap motion, but it's going to hold this linebacker here just a tick because he has to honor it. At the same time, Clark's going to shoot upfield, which honestly, that is a welcome sight for Lane Johnson, because he's going to wall off Clark here. And it's going to create a nice little lane here for Saquon Barkley. So if you take it back just a tick, you'll see right here what this does to the linebacker. It's nothing crazy, just a tick. That's all it takes in this game of inches. And even though the guard can't get to the linebacker, it allows Saquon Barkley a ton of room here to navigate, figure it out, do what he does best, make guys miss, and get a big gain. So that's just, again, something you have to be worried about. Discipline, not being too much fooled with the eye candy. And I mean, this is not getting upfield is great here for Clark, but that's pretty much what they want. And then Barkley does his thing. Now, when they don't do a whole lot of, not even a whole lot, that wasn't a lot, but when they don't do any of the jet motion and things like that, they're going to just flip the page and play straight up hat football. And when you have a talented offensive line like that, when you got these big guys, 6'8", 6'5", 6'6", 340, 350, 360, what have you, hat on hat football can work, but you got to win your one-on-ones. And if you look at Van Ness here on this play, he does that. Does a great job dealing with Dallas Goedert. If you look at Kenny Clark, he does win that kind of a half. It's a one-on-one, but kind of a 1.5 on one. They do a great job here, and they stop this play. So let's take it back. Let's start with Van Ness. This is Van Ness over here dealing with Dallas Goedert. He does a really good job stacking, shedding, peeking, getting him out the way, disengaging and making a play on this ball here. And this is what we're going to want our defensive ends to do when Dallas Goedert is making these specific type of having these specific type of assignments. But take a look at your boy Kenny Clark over here, though. I love this because when you see a Packer player do this, you think about, if you're a historian, football, Reggie White with the old club move. Just a really great club move here from Kenny Clark. I'm gonna slow it down so you can see it here. Here we go. Take it back. There's Kenny Clark right here. He deals with Johnson first. Johnson peels off to get 55, I believe Rashawn Gary. And it's just a great club move. Keeps fighting. Keeps his hands fighting, and he gets down the line. This is something you'll see a lot of from Kenny Clark. And that's just that motor, that hustle. He gets laterally really well and able to track the ball down. Just big boy ball right here. No ground was given. That's the kind of rep that makes you go, okay. Or makes you go, good rep right there. All right, this next play. Now, this is the inverse, right? This is when you don't win straight up. This is kind of what happens right here. Philly comes out in 12 personnel, and they're going to send this tight end, I believe, on a wham block. I believe this is that play. Let me let it run real quick here. No, this is the short pull. So the next play is that. This is where they do the short pull with Juergens. And again, just using that leverage against you. Using that leverage where you're a penetrating defensive tackle, right? You want to get upfield. And that's not going to be an issue for Kenny Clark. You're never going to see us talk about, oh, well, man, he's not getting off the ball. He's not penetrating. They know this. So why not use it against him? He's going to get a short pull with the center. Sorry, let me get this right here. We're going to get a short pull with the center. And we want to essentially wall off, again, Kenny Clark. That's something that they understand. This guy can be a disruptive force, whether he's hurt or not. And that's exactly what they do. They're going to let Kenny Clark get upfield. We're going to wall him off right here. And we get a nice short pull from Juergens. And I mean, look at this. This is easy money if you're going to give Philly this. Easy money. Yeah. Easy 10 yards or what have you on that play. Now, this is the play I was actually talking about, the inverse of not winning straight up, no pulls or anything like that. Now, they are, like I said, they are going to use the wham block here with the tight end. I forget how to say his name, the tight end too. Pretty good. I think he's a solid tight end too. Fits what they want to do very well. But you're going to get a wham block on this side and then double team. I'm going to take this back real quick. A double team on Kenny Clark. Now, as much as I like Kenny Clark, this is a tough assignment for a guy who's not 330, 40 pounds. This is tough. If they can get square, if Dickerson and Maliata can square up on you, this is going to happen because they're just big dudes. So they're going to double Clark here. They get the wham here on Van Ness. And they got nothing but daylight to get a good 5 yards here. And that's what happens. So this is kind of the inverse of if you don't win your hat on a hat. Yeah. They'll control, they'll move the line of scrimmage. And you never, ever want to see this right here. There's no pushback. They've quite literally moved the line of scrimmage. If they do that on the Cowboys, that'll be a bit tough to handle. Let's get to this next play here. Okay. Again, they're going to try more of that wham block situation with the tight end. They say, oh, well, it worked one time. Let's see if it can work again. Try another wham block here. But the winner of this play, to me, is, I believe his name is Nazir Stackhouse. I'll let the play run. Then I'm going to pause it and show you if he doesn't win, it's a wrap. So you got the wham. Slow down the backside just a little bit. We're turning Kenny Clark right here. So they do a good job of turning. That's what they want to do. We don't want to let him get upfield, so we're going to turn him with two of the biggest guys in the offensive line in the league. We're going to get, I forget my man's name from the Jets, him up to the second level. Lane Johnson being Lane Johnson. Look at this. But Stackhouse wins his one-on-one against Juergens. So, Juergens has to reach. This is a tough assignment. They want Juergens to reach here and turn. But Stackhouse does a great job long arming, extending, and he has all the leverage in the world. So with that leverage, we're making Saquon Barkley cut back because he can't just run straight at this guy. This guy goes like 340, 350. It's not happening. So he forces him to cut back, and he cuts back into the help, and we get a tackle for loss. That's what happens when you win those one-on-ones against this Eagles offensive line. Does it happen often? No, we're not saying that happens often. But when you do that, you then put them in second and longs, third and longs, and now you can let this pass rush, get upfield, right? And then this last play, it really, you should pay attention to how the Packers, work up front. They're going to do a slant, right? And that's something that the Cowboys, if you know Eberflus's scheme, you're going to see a lot of this. You're going to see a lot of slant in the fronts, trying to funnel things back inside to specific players or linebackers. And that's what happens. They're going to do a slant front here. And honestly, to be real with you, it's not terrible execution initially. All right, they slant, and yes, the Eagles, they happen to be running a perfect call for it by walling off this side of the offensive line. But the second level, I think they do a good job of kind of being where they need to be. You're going to give a bit of a gap exchange, right? A bit of a gap exchange from Walker and number 56. And again, they are where they need to be here. However, where things can kind of be cleaned up is that second to third level where you're going to need people to fly downhill and fill. And number 29, as I let it play, it's a little bit long, right? 29 needs to be filling, right? I mean, he needs to be hauling ass. And I don't think this is a terrible position that Quay Walker is in right here. I believe that's Quay Walker. But you are in position to make a play, and he does miss the tackle here. However, if 29 is kind of doing his job and filling, this is where you're going to need the Malik Hookers, the Donovan Wilsons. No hesitation. Get your ass downhill and fill. If he does that, I mean, we're talking about Gainwell just basically running into Quay Walker's lap, right? We're talking about Gainwell running right here, and you get, a 2-yard gain? Instead, they turn that 2-yard gain into roughly 6 or so yards, and you get a first down. And look, we all know any hesitation with Saquon Barkley is potential death for your defense. So those are just some of the plays that happened in that game. Again, collectively, they ran the ball very well throughout that game. I think 144 yards the second matchup, like 166 the first matchup. But they were in the game, right? I want to say they only put up 22 points. So I'm not trying to do apples to apples here in a way that, they only scored 22 on the Packers, so they only going to. No, that's not the situation. But what I'm getting at is, even with them having success on the ground, can you stay in the game? That'll depend on the offensive side now, right? That'll depend on, not throwing. What did old boy have? Jordan Love, 3 picks or something like that in this game? Can't do that. Cannot do that. And we're going to break down the offensive side. And we're going to break down why. I don't even say break down. Let's also talk about how the offense is going to be important in slowing down this run game. I don't want to go back to the days where the Cowboys offense was their defense against the ground, because that was the case for so many years under Tony Romo and under the Dak Prescott regime. Even when Dan Quinn was here, a lot of people look at, Cowboys finished 5th in rush yards, right? 7th, whatever it was. It wasn't because they dominated offenses on the ground. It was because you were forced as an offense to throw the ball to play catch up. I don't know if that's going to be the case against this Eagles defense. So the Cowboys are going to have to bring their hard hats. They're going to have to be sound. They're going to have to be disciplined. Take the ball away. This can't be a situation, I think, where it's just, hey, offense, go get us 35, and we'll just be olaying out there. Can't do it. Won't do it. All right? So that's just some film right there from that game. I can't wait till we have actual film of the Cowboys against them so we can break down the usage of Kenny. But I am extremely excited to see Kenny Clark and Osa in tandem, both healthy, right? Both healthy. While there is intrigue and interest in the pass rush, now without a premier pass rusher in there, down in, down out, there's a little bit more pressure on them. So my intrigue and interest is more so when those lights come on, can we down in, down out? Or at least when it's third down, second and long, what have you, pass on, can you The Cowboys were the number one pressure team when he was in there, and they were like 31st when he wasn't. We need to turn that up. The Donovan Izaracos, the Dante Fowlers. I think those are your juice guys. We'll see with Sam. I think Sam should be given a little bit of grace with the injury. We didn't see that kind of burst in preseason, in training camp until he took off for the interception. But that was kind of a giddy up, that kind of first step burst. I think that's important for Sam, and we saw him have that against Philly a couple years ago. A little grace with Sam. You could argue a little grace with the rookie too. That's the issue. You put a lot of pressure on these guys who actually needed a little bit of time, but we ain't got time. We ain't got time. It's week 1. It's Cowboys Eagles. Thursday night football to kick off the season. This is practically worth a game and a half. First game of the year, Jim. Can't hold anything back. That's kind of how I look at it. I wouldn't hold a damn thing back, bro. Nothing. I'm throwing the kitchen sink at these boys. Point blank, period. Another super came in. A couple more did. And I'll hit the phone lines and I hit to the chat. Talk to y'all for a little bit. We are on a good time today. We got about 15, 20 more minutes before I got to get going. Shouts out to Patty. Dropped another 2.
Super chat.
Patty said Cowboys should look into picking up Joe Biondi. All right, so I know Patty was trolling earlier. Who the heck?
Who in the blue hell are you?
Oh, that's a Waterboy reference? And I love Waterboy, but I don't remember no name. We got 700 in the chat. Hey, do me a favor, y'all. Hit that like button, please. Please, if you're enjoying this content. If you're new here, this is kind of what we do during game weeks. This is what we do. We will look into the upcoming matchup, breaking it all down. But hit that like button right now. Everybody at the same time, smash it. Smash it. Robert DeCenzo. Is it DeCenzo or DeCenzo? Shouts out to Robert.
Super chat.
He dropped 2 and said it's not Nizer. That's not Nizer Stackhouse. That's not number 93 is not Stack. Are you okay? You're not even. So whoever 93 is, excuse me, mistaken. That's not Nizer Stackhouse. Whoever 93 was on that play, that's who that guy was. But what was his name? DeCenzo. I thought that was Stackhouse. Apologies. I thought that's what it said on the R22. But bottom line, let me make sure we got the right one. Today's the 31st. Yep. Bottom line. Some of these guys I missed.
Super chat.
He dropped 2 and said, how good is Fangio at adapting this offense different? So I'm going to tap in with my guy today, but special guest tomorrow, Match Quarters Defense. If you don't know who that is, I believe it's Cody. Go check him out on YouTube and Twitter. Does a fantastic job breaking down defenses. I hit him up a couple weeks ago because, he does deep dives into all defenses, but he often talks about Fangio's. For those who have been here know how high I am on Fangio's scheme. I wanted him instead of Zimmer, but he's from PA area, close to Philly. He already was with Philly. It's kind of a shoo-in. He's going to be on tomorrow, and we're going to dive deep into this Fangio defense. And to me, it's more so about us adapting to him more than him adapting to what you're going to do. The league has adopted a lot of what Fangio does into their. That's why you see a lot of this umbrella coverage, 2 hides. It's shifted. That's why run game is back, because teams are just like, okay, we're just going to put 2 guys on the roof, and we're going to play some zone underneath, and they do it really well. So it's not going to be easy, but there are holes like there is in every single defense. It's a matter of how you get them to take advantage of it. So tune in tomorrow. We're going to break that down. Today is Cowboys defense versus that Eagles offense. Robert dropped another
super chat
2 earlier. Said, can you show how Mozzie could be elite? What is happening today? What is happening? Again, I don't know if this is trolling or what. This is 2 different people now talking about Mozzie. Unless he was talking about Patty showing us how Mozzie can be elite. What do you mean by that? Because I don't think he can. We got the one from Patty. Shouts out to Brian Gooseby. He dropped 10, man.
Super chat.
He said, thank you for the content, bro. No, thank you for being here. I'm a win, lose, or draw. I'm going to be here try to give you all the best content possible. Quality content, not TMZ content. Quality content. Another one from Bottom Line. Shouts out to Bottom Line. He dropped 2 and said, the hoodie is fire. I need the link.
Super chat.
I think I got this last year on Fanatics. Cowboy. This isn't my favorite Cowboy hoodie. I'll probably wear that on Friday. My favorite Cowboy hoodie also I think came from Fanatics, which I'm not a big fan of Fanatics for my WWE products, but they got some good football stuff. Not gonna lie. And I think that is it for today. Now I see another one came in. Shouts out to Davey84.
Super chat.
He dropped 2 and said round table win. I don't know, man. It's been a long time since we had a round table. Now, a lot of us are busy. Shouts out to my brother, Voss Lombardi. Him and Brian Broadus are, I believe today, they're starting up the Crown Global Media studio show. I've been plugged in with that from behind the scenes the whole entire ride. I actually was supposed to be a part of that, but I had to move from Dallas to here. But you'll see me down there. You'll see me. I'll be down there a few times rocking with them. But, he's got that going on. He's on .com as well. Okoye had a lot of life things he was doing, but he's back now. Obviously, you see Foot's everywhere, collective and doing his thing, myself as well, doing the collective in here. So we just got to match up our schedules and we'll be back. Mozzie cost us Mike. Mozzie cost. That's wild. Jeff Hardy in the building. Shouts out to Jeff Hardy. He says, question, Sky, would you add Frank Gore Jr. to the practice squad? Sure. I mean, the more the merrier. The more the merrier. Now, I ain't going to lie to you. I'm just basing that off of what was it, 2 years ago when he came out? I have no idea what Frank Gore Jr. looked like. I haven't watched Frank Gore Jr. last year, so I ain't going to lie to you. But, I mean, look. Bring in some fresh young legs and see what we can do in that practice squad. Wrestling Bros dropped 2. Appreciate you, Wrestling Bros.
Super chat.
He said, shout out to my guy. Keep it up. Thank you, brother. Will do. All right, back to the horns. Let's get 484. Is this Mr. Ronnie we got on the line?
Hey, how you doing, my brother?
Hey, what's going on, Mr. Ronnie?
How you doing? I just want to call real quick and say, I think we're going to be okay this year. You know what I mean? It remains to be seen, but I think we're going to be okay. I like what Brian Shanahan is bringing. He's bringing accountability to the team, and it seems like he don't got no favorites. But we'll see what happens. You know what I'm saying? God bless you and your family, and hope everything goes good for you, my brother.
God bless you as well, Mr. Ronnie. Thank you so much. Shouts out to Mr. Ronnie over there in Reading. Not far away. 202, you are live. What's up?
Yeah, hi, Skywalker. This is Big Amish calling in again.
Hey, Big Amish, I got to save you, Big Amish. I liked your call last time. Let me get you up in here. What's up with you?
I appreciate it. Yeah, and by the way, I'm always on Law Nation, and I follow Law Nation. That's how I came to your cube.
I'm out here in Central Pennsylvania, and we're close to some of the Amish. Where you happen to be from here, Big Amish?
Well, I'm in D.C. right now. Well, you're by Lancaster, right?
Yeah, Lancaster. They still do a horse and buggy up there. Sometimes you ride through and you see the horses on the road. It's crazy.
Hey. And that's what the Cowboys got to go back to the ground and pound, baby.
Yeah,
bring it back.
You allowed to be on? You allowed to have a phone, Big Amish?
Well, you could use technology for friends and family.
Okay.
You got to be careful how to use technology. Otherwise, I'll call in with the law and I'll use my old cans and that wire connection.
Big Amish still got the phone. What's it called? A phone where you got a rotary phone or something like that? You still got that, Big Amish? Hey, yo, Big Amish talking to me like this right now. Go ahead, Big Dog. I got you.
Yeah, no. Two things. But the first thing is, Kenny Clark, the way I look at it, I love how he moves because he's like Bruce Lee in a way. I'm not saying he's you know what I mean by Bruce Lee. He's like water. He finds the weaknesses. He's like constantly going forward or he's moving lateral, but he's using the weakness of his opponent and doing this. It's amazing. I love watching the film, and he doesn't do it all the time. Sometimes he does get stopped. You're going to get a better, you're going to get some good blocks on you on occasion. But that's what I see from him. It's amazing. So I see that as a plus for the defensive line. But I don't want to miss what impact he's going to have on our offensive line, because you can't simulate Jalen Carter. But Kenny Clark could come close, and Tyler Booker is going to be the benefactor of this during practices. Because
I'll say this, Big Amish.
Go ahead.
I think Osa was that guy to help simulate that quick upfield player, right? I think Osa, battling Kenny Clark's and the BBs of the world is that player. Now, had Kenny Clark been here for camp, I think it would take it to another level because you're able to kind of, bang in that way. Now, during the season, they're not really going to be competing in that aspect. During the week, it's going to be about prepping for the opposing team. And Kenny Clark ain't going to be on nobody's, not practice squad, but he's not going to be on the other side imitating that defense. That'll be whoever is on our practice squad. So if this was the season, the preseason, if this was training camp where they can actually ones is going up against ones like that, I 100% with you. That would have helped. I think now it's more of a matter of during the season. They're prepping for the next team. They ain't really trying to have these ones compete against each other, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. But I thought they actually do.
Scout
or is
team.
that
Yeah,
just with Jimmy Johnson doing that?
I just don't know if he's going to be on the scout team. That's
okay. Well, not so much on the scout team, but I thought actually the ones do go against the ones, at least for a little bit. But I leave that up to you guys. I don't know.
No, you could be right. I'll talk to somebody about that. Like, how often does that happen, as opposed to each side kind of getting prepared for the opposing side? You know what I mean? Because you only have so many practice days during the season. You figure they don't go back into the practice field until Wednesday. So you get Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Now we're traveling to play the next opponent. So it's kind of tough to take time out to do that when you get only 3 legitimate practice days for it to make an impact, if that makes sense. So I'm just thinking out loud.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it because it makes me think out loud too. I don't know if that's good or bad, but from my end. But because don't forget, we have not seen our offense at all in preseason.
No.
I mean, our first string offense. And that's why it raises a bunch of questions for the next part of my question as well. And that is, if we are not ready for a division rival who beat us twice last year,
come on,
who won the Super Bowl,
come on,
if we can't get up for this game, I don't know if we have to win this game. I actually, I'm looking at this. I think this is going to be a long season. We're going to be a 10-7 team, but we're going to get our wins stacked in the back end and let our offense, everything gel and develop. Iron sharpens iron. That's what Law would say, and that's what I want to see. But this game is critical for me because I want to know, is there rust or not? Because I all the pressure in a way is going to be on Dak in a way, and on Shoddy, because if they lose, is the question going to become, well, there's rust. They didn't practice.
For sure.
The ones weren't out there.
Expected. So, I mean, I think we should be going in with a little bit of expectation of some rust, but it's a matter of when the hell will you knock it off. You can't go 2-3 quarters of trying to knock it off. It needs to be knocked off pretty damn quickly.
Right. No, but our emotion should be sky high. I mean, our defense and our running. That's why I want us to run that ball. Just do what the Eagles did. I mean, that's a great formula for us. But we do have a better passing quarterback. I do agree with that. I just don't want our quarterback getting hurt. So,
well, brother, the season here now, man. We just gotta hope for the best. I don't like to think about that aspect of it. We just gotta hope for the best in regards to Dak staying upright. Because if he can stay upright, you're talking about one of the best in the league, man. But hey, Big Amish, appreciate the call.
Absolutely. All right, thank you.
Good stuff. Good call. Yeah, I want to kind of touch on what he talked about there. Like, they're not prepared to come out and match the Eagles' energy because you know what the Eagles going to do, right? You know what the Eagles going to do. Meek Mill's coming out, dreams and nightmares, drop the banner. It's going to be fired up. That crowd's going to be fired up. And you need to match that. Point blank, period. It's been one of the problems. I don't even want to say under the shot or McCarthy, just in general for a very long time here, is not being able to do that, not coming out and getting a fast start. And Dak talked about that. He said, "Nah, we got to throw the first punch. We've got to throw the first punch." And it is not refreshing, but encouraging to hear that, because I'm pretty sure that's being echoed, and they're going to come out with an aggressive plan. Oppo of the last time we saw them play an important game in January, that was not an aggressive plan. And they didn't come out with that urgency. Got to come out with that urgency in this game. And I will say this, I don't judge or even want to judge any team off of a week 1 win or loss. But I'd be lying to you if I'm not paying attention to how they come out. Because Amish is right. There's no, man, you got all offseason. They just won the bowl and matching you up against your heated rivals on the road. Beat you twice last year. Healthy, no, I don't give a damn. They beat you twice. I haven't been swept in I don't know how long. And it's the first game of the year. There is no better time. We just traded Micah, right? So there's no better time to make a statement. Talked about, 7 irons and holding back plays and things of that nature. There's no better time to come out here and throw the kitchen sink at these dudes. Shouldn't be holding anything back. Should be fired up. And we saw too many times coming out in some of these big games where that was not the case, especially on the road. I mean, how many times they come out and we're looking like, what is this? Sluggish? What are we doing? Then the other side of the ball, just bink, 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 bink. Now you're down 7-0. Now you're down 10-0. Now you're down 17-3. And then we fight back, get into it or whatever. And that's just how it goes. So it's going to be imperative. And I'm definitely keeping an eye on that. I will judge that. I'm not going to judge the team's totality over a season over the win-loss aspect. Even if they win, I'm not going to be like, yeah, we won Super Bowl. No. But I will judge them off of how they come out. That is extremely important. Cannot be flat in this game. Or you get run out the building, quite literally. All right, let me get to a couple more here. I'm going to lock these up. Ooh, somebody just snuck in here, didn't they? 1, 2, 3. All right, I just locked it up because I got to get going. So we're going to try to fly through these right quick. Let's talk to Poindexter. What's up, man?
Whew, man. I've been going through these stages of grief. Came out, I was in the anger stage, you know what I mean? Before last time I talked to you, I said, hey, I want something to happen, Yeah. I was angry that they traded Michael Parsons. Then I went into denial. I started watching everything. I'm like, well, maybe this is just fake news, And then I got to the bargaining, hey, man, we got a DT. We can stop the run, whatever. Then Sunday I was like just depressed, man, because I realized that, this was just a monumental, man. I just got depressed. But today I'm at the stage of acceptance. Okay, it is what it is. We here now.
What it is.
And it is what it is. We here now. And, I always thought that this year the coaching would be on display. Huh?
Nothing, man. I'm messing with you.
Hello?
Go ahead. I'm here.
Oh, okay. Well, but I thought that the coaching would be on display this year. We got a coaching staff where Shady picked up coaches that's supposed to know how to coach.
Yeah.
And with the team we have, there's a lot of X factors on this team. But one thing we do know, Dak Prescott, Pickens, Turpin, CD, Bird. Yeah, we want to run the ball, but our strength is going to be in that passing game. That's going to be our strength this year. So everything else just has to step up. Everybody else has to step up. This defensive line don't know, man. I'm not gonna sit up here and try to brag and boast and whatever. But hey, I'm a Cowboy fan, and I'm gonna say the hell with the Eagles. We're gonna go into financial and whoop some butt. You hear what I'm saying?
No.
We're gonna come with a plan and a design, and we're gonna whoop some butt.
What you meant to say, Poindexter, was the Eagles. That's what you meant to say.
You know, I don't want to go there.
I got you. Let's say it collectively for him, Cowboys Nation. The Eagles.
I told you I've been going to the stages, man. If you'd have called me on Friday, I'd have had a tirade. You hear what I'm saying? Cool. But today is Monday, and I'm at my acceptance stage. Okay. Yeah. I done went through all of that. You know what I mean? I done threw some stuff around, man, and oh man, look, I'm gonna do the same thing I did last year. I'm going to wear my Cowboys gear. I'm going to support my team, but I'm going to put some red lipstick on my nose. Oh. Because the owner is a clown, and he will always be a clown. And people ask me, "Oh, why you got that red on your nose?" I say, "Because my owner's a clown." You know what I'm saying? I support this team, man. This is my team. But the owner's a clown, man. That's just it.
You can't let him make you join the circus. You know what I mean?
No. But like I said, when people look at me and ask me, they like, "Man, you're a Cowboy fan?" I say, "Yes, but my owner's a clown, so I'm gonna make sure." And I would think that everybody should go to the stadium and put red on their nose. You know what I mean? Say, "Hey, man, I support this team, but my owner's a clown, man. My owner's a clown." There's no way around it, man.
There's a video going around where this guy, in Dallas, I'm not sure if you're aware of Poindexter, they hate Nico Harrison. They hate this dude for trading.
Yeah.
Old boy, Luka. So I guess there was a guy that met Nico. He was out dining, this was kind of disrespectful, but this just goes to tell you how much they hate him.
Yeah, it is.
And he walked up to Nico and was like, "Nico?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he shook his hand. It was like, "We hate you here. Have a good night."
That's wrong on so many different levels, man.
He stood on business because everybody was like, "You would never say that to his face. You a keyboard warrior." He went straight to that man, looked him in the eye, shook his hand, and said, "We hate you." So I gotta respect him, bro.
But hey, you gotta give it to him, man. That's the same with me because I don't really.
And if Nico had security should have yoked him up. But I respect him standing on business. I don't advise everyone doing that to Jerry Jones because he got real life security that pull that thing out.
Right.
But I'm just saying, he said it to him. Man,
if I was in the same space as Jerry Jones, man, I would go the other way because that's the kind of person I am, man. I don't be around. I couldn't be in the same room with Jerry. Oh man, you wouldn't be around a billionaire. Man, if Jerry Jones was in one room, I'm going in the other room. That's just how I feel about it. You hear what I'm saying? Money never fazed me. You know what I mean? We don't go to football games to see somebody make money. You know what I mean?
But he's a star, Poindexter. He's a celebrity, and you'd be surprised how many fans. When I was out at camp and at Oxnard a couple years ago, and even every year when I was down and when it came to Dallas. They don't care. A lot of fans don't care about that part for Jerry Jones. So when they autographs and want to talk to him and things like that, and that's how they view him.
Yeah, that. Like I said, if you want to be in them spaces, that's fine. You know what I mean. But I watch football. Football is my spectator sport. Somebody making money is not a spectator sport. Boy, I'm sorry, that's not a spectator sport. That's not. I got a life, man. I work, I take care of house, I got family and stuff and everything. Football is that nerve numbing narcotic. You know what I mean? When I can sit on my couch, man, and I can just get away from everything and just watch some football, man. I love football. The thing is that when you talk about this coaching staff, in closing, when you talk about this coaching staff, man, to get these 11 people to get out here and look, you look at Dallas roster, you look at the Eagles roster, there's not a lot of difference in talent. It's just that you got 11 men out on the field being better than the sum of their parts, and that's what it is about football. Getting 11 people, especially on defense, being better than the sum of their parts, man. Now I'm gonna be watching this game, man. I'm gonna be cheering like I always do, man. That's what football is about, man. We do a lot of talking. I heard some content creators this weekend, man, and they killed me, man. How do you give Jerry credit? Yes, I do like Kenny. I think Kenny is good, man. I think he's a good player, man. But you talking about 2 first-round draft picks that's really glorified early second-round draft picks? Man, you can miss me with that. Let me get out of here, man. I'm not going to say how about them Cowboys till we win a game. You hear what I'm saying? I'm just going to say Jerry's a clown, and I'm out.
Fair enough, bro. Appreciate your point, Dexter. I will say this. Let me close this up here. I'm standing on exactly what I said at the very beginning of that whole thing. When it went down, I was like, all right, this sucks. It happened. Now what's the compensation and who? I'm not moving off of trading to the Packers. It's just stupid to me. It's dumb. Now I'll move on, but just not trading. Like, you know how people came at Mike and said, hey, I don't know how the hell you could bring in the quarterback of the team that beat you after, whooping on you in the playoffs, and you brought him into your podcast. That's fair. Like, yeah, that's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy to trade Michael Parsons to the team that whooped your ass like that too. I mean, it's just kind of crazy to me. I'm sorry. You can poo-poo it all you want. That team, no. Who else? But then I'll play devil's advocate to my thought on that. Because you decided to not make this move long ago, you kind of was putting yourself in a hole here. Now, I'm not saying there wasn't other teams that would have jumped at this, but they put themselves in a situation where it was like, hey, we want a specific player, a specific position, and obviously 2 first-round picks. I think you would have got that. The picks wouldn't have been a problem. But were there teams that were trash and knew that, hey, man, we're not going to be good for a couple years. No point in even grabbing him. Were there teams a little bit worse, but not too much, than Green Bay that say, yeah, we'll take this, but we don't have the defensive tackle. So you kind of pigeonhole yourself into kind of taking the best offer you can get. And look, it's not I think people are going a bit overboard saying this is a terrible trade. Like, this is not a terrible trade. I mean, you got 2 first-round picks and a good defensive player. Add the context to it. We have to wait to see if it is amazing or terrible, right? But on the onset, it's not a terrible trade. The part that's terrible to me is trading him to Green Bay. That's the terrible part. And not, maybe I would have loved to be greedy a little bit more, get some more players, but it is what it is. I got the 2 first-round picks, which we all knew was going to be, I need 2 ones. I need a player that's going to help me now. I thought I could get more. I'm not going to lie to you. I did think there'd be more picks involved here. So if you want to call it terrible for that, by all means, I'll let you have it. But I don't think getting 2 first and Kenny is an awful starting point. I ain't gonna lie. I wish it was a little bit more. And just being completely transparent with you. We'll see though. You can't really totally judge it until we see what the picks is. And I'll be quick as I possibly can. Once you start talking about the context and like the nitty gritty of the trade, it's a little like, damn, because those picks, unless they're moved to get needle movers, to get veterans that come in here and immediately, right? These are veteran players, not rookies. The real life expectations of 2026 and 2027 first round picks, if they stay pat, you hope to get peak that player 2, 3, 4, probably 3. Let's just call it 3 years in. So you're talking about 29 and 30, where you were hoping that they're at their peak to help you get over the hump. By that time, Kenny Clark, he could potentially not even be here. So kind of to talk back around to what I said a couple days ago, I'm kind of just sick of thinking about, all right, 3, 4, 5 years from now, let's build to there. I want to win now. I've been wanting to win now for a long time because you've had good teams. So now let's stack it to try to win. I'm all about stacking that thing. I know, Cowboys fans. I know. Not a Super Bowl team. Not of this and not of that. But damn it, try to be then. Get aggressive. Try to be. I personally would like to parlay a pick or two, or it don't got to be both first round picks. No. maybe one of those and maybe some others, or one of those a player, or just one of those, and get me another needle mover or two or whatever it may be to help me win now. I want to win now. The 26, 27 picks are awesome when you think of draft stuff and you're thinking 28, 29, 30, like, because that's when they're going to be guys that, you know, can hopefully contribute at that high level in the way the Cowboys lean on their draft picks to contribute. But if we're going to operate in the same manner we do in free agency and trades, in the sense of we're not getting these hump players, we're not signing these hump players, we're going to get Band-Aids, 1-year deals, Jags, average guys, and then we're going to lean on the draft. I mean, realistically, we're talking 28, 29, 30, where we're hoping that these picks help the Cowboys get over the hump. And if they keep all 4 of them, well, you know, there's going to be at least 1 or 2 of them dragging out fights again, and we're going to be right back in this process of, well, do we sign them? Do we not? Do we? Repetitive. I'm just looking for this team to go for the gusto, and I feel like we got like a 2-year window with Dak. Roughly, I know he's a 4-year extension, but that's a 2-3-year window. Go for that thing with him, and if it don't work out, you move forward. But I feel like you got a 2-3-year window, and I'm going for it personally. But enough talking about that. 267 Inc. That's your boy. What a crazy name to have on your phone there, bro. 267.
Hello.
What's going on? You live? What's up with you?
My fault. I just wanted to run something by you, in my opinion. Now, obviously, I'm not happy with Michael being traded, but I just looked at like the last 3-4 Super Bowl winners. Where have they been predominantly strong at on that line?
Do you think the Cowboys are a Super Bowl roster this year?
Did you think the Super Bowl team was going to be the Eagles when they won with Matt Foles or Nick Foles?
Oh, that was a Super Bowl, right? Yeah, they won out and won for the gusto. Now, did I think Nick Foles?
It's football. Anything can happen. I can't say who's going to be what.
Fair.
We didn't think we was going to have a record we had last year, even did we?
Yeah, after Dak got hurt. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people actually before that predicted the Cowboys being bad. So I mean, that's not really a good example. But just because you have to project, you have to project somewhat. I'm not asking you to say they're going to win the Super Bowl. I'm just asking you, like, just flat out, do you think before or even after the trade, do you think this is Cowboys team was a Super Bowl team? Even the homer of all homers never really believed that. You know, I don't think that's the case.
As a fan, I'm going to be honest, every year I think we going to make the playoffs. I feel like we're always close. It's just coaching always make dumbass decisions.
Right.
And we lack discipline. For the last 2 years, it's been like a very, very high school campus, if you ask me.
Last few years.
I'm going to get back to my premises. Yeah.
That's the
I just think it's been hanging out. It ain't really been nobody disciplined.
30 years. That's the Cowboys culture. That's the problem. But that's a whole nother discussion.
Right. For me, I feel like if Clark gets back to where he was 23, he ain't got to be exactly, but I think I'm not happy about losing Michael. I do feel like with Clark, it'd be a better fit overall. I feel like Osa needs somebody next to him. You
100%.
Can't double Osa and you can't double Clark. So we both already know Osa isn't on Clark's level, right? You can agree with that as a DT?
Yeah, healthy. I think Clark is better he's been better for a long period of time. I think Osa, this is the time to take that step to be better than him. It wouldn't shock me, if Osa takes that step and he's now surpassing Clark. This is that time to do it, right? So it wouldn't shock me. But
sure,
I think
at 30, it's the time.
Yeah, I think combined though, this is a fantastic interior. I mean, this is your best interior you've had since Hatcher and Ratliff, and that wasn't even, that was more like a 3-4. So this is a really good interior.
Correct. So what I'm saying is Osa, we all know Osa can, he's not super dominant, but he does well with getting pressures from up the middle. He has a few sacks, 5 sacks, 4 sacks, 6 sacks, whatever. Clark is also known for getting. So I think our philosophy this year, over the year, has been sack, get to the quarterback. What they're preaching this year is stop the run and lose to the quarterback. And I feel like I said, with discipline, even with Micah, everything was up the field, which left a lot of holes, and we never contained our edge.
You're actually talking if you listen to what you're saying, that's exactly what Dan Quinn's scheme was. It was play the run to the quarterback. That's exactly what Rob Marinelli's scheme was. It was play the run to the quarterback. And look, I'm old enough to remember fans hated that. Let's be completely real here. Fans absolutely hated that, and they welcomed kind of a two-gapping scheme last year that was about stopping the run. So I don't, I'm just keeping the beam with you. What you're saying is actually what was already done here. I think the difference is you have a guy in Matt Eberflus who has a resume of being able to do that, being able to stop the run. And Clark actually is believe it or not, he's a pass rushing 3-tech, but he can play the run better than any dude that you had on that defensive line, in my opinion. So he is going to help there as well. So you got him, you got Osa being able to get upfield, attack upfield. And that's just what they're going to do. This is an attack. He said it. I can play it. We're an attacking front. We're going to play the run to the quarterback. That's kind of what they want to do, which is exactly what Dan Quinn wanted to do. So I don't think there's going to be much of a difference there.
I feel like with Quinn, that's what they said, but that wasn't what they was doing. See what I'm saying? Like the same thing with Mike McCarthy. Huh? They told us what we wanted to hear and what was politically correct. But when you got on the field, it wasn't that.
It quite literally was that, brother. And that was the problem everybody had with the scheme, is that we, instead of just playing the run in general, you're playing the run on the way to the quarterback. And what happens is everybody's going for the quarterback. That's the scheme. It was an attack, get upfield to the quarterback. That's exactly how they played. They didn't play it great all the time. No, not at all. And that's what we got to see with this scheme. Can they play it great all the time? We obviously don't know yet. But I will lean on Matt Eberflus's resume. I will. And now you got an upgrade on the interior. I think they're going to be better against the run. I thought they were going to be better, period. Just how much better? I think Clark is going to help you be a little bit better on that interior. Now it's going to depend on that second level. The safeties filling, the linebackers filling, the edge is containing, right? It's going to be, you got to be filling those lanes, filling those gaps. It's very important because you miss one assignment. We're talking about a big lane here.
Right. And for me, I'm just saying, in my opinion, like I said, we all got our own. For me, I feel like the worst thing for a quarterback is that interior pressure, because we had shitty O-lines for the last few years, people going down. If you could beat somebody on the edge, I feel like you could step up, right? Or there's to be a lane for you to step through. If that pressure's in your face, it's kind of hard. It speeds up your clock to get the ball out. And I feel like if we can get that to speed up the quarterback's clock, that can help the DBs. They won't have to worry about covering so much.
Yeah. Your pass rush is your pass rush is so vital, I think, to this defensive backfield without a Diggs, or a Diggs kind of getting back in shape. We'll see what happens with the nickel cornerback situation. But yeah, I mean, the interior pass rush matters too. That's where Osa where he lived at. And then you had Micah, who would help on the edge, and then he would help give one-on-ones. Now it's the interior. Now it's going to be, okay, if Clark and Osa are going to be the guys that they'll have to pay attention to, now it'll be up to the Dante Fowlers and the Ezrakus and the Marshawn Nealons to take advantage on the outside. Because that's just the way to land, right? Okay, where are you now stronger at? Okay, it's not Mike anymore. So now we don't have to, allocate resources on the edge. We'll allocate those resources on the interior. So now you got to make them pay for that. And we'll see if they can do that. I think there's going to be times they can, because they have a plethora they're going to run out, but you got to stop that run first, brother. You got to stop that run first.
For sure. But do you also agree that with so even going back to Tank was our high, before Micah, he was the high money man on the line.
Yeah.
So is it fair to say that Fowler and everybody else here, Sam Williams, I'm trying to think of all the guys that went to the Commanders. I forgot some of their names. But is it fair to say that they didn't get enough opportunity? Because if you had Mike on one side, you had Tank on the other side, and it was hard to pull them off to let other people eat? Whether other guys might have been better at the pass rush than Tank?
I mean, look, I would like to see Fowler more, but I'm not going to complain about the pass rush during that time. The Cowboys were quite literally the number one pressure team in the league and was always up there in sacks and turnovers. How they employed it was just fine. How they employed it wasn't the issue in the losses, wasn't the issue in the playoffs. That wasn't the problem. When you got Mike and you got Tank, those guys are going to play a lot. It was good to have a Dante Fowler and a Sam Williams healthy as a good rotational period, a rotational piece. There's no knock on Dante when he was here. He did fine. He didn't have to play 70% of the snaps. I don't think you really wanted him
for sure. I'm not saying that anything was wrong. I'm just saying there's a lot more to still get because they were limited. That's what I'm saying. Like Sam Williams was limited. Fowler was limited. He did more in Washington than he did with us, right?
Sure. He did as a rotational
and in Washington,
guy.
He didn't even get all the workload. He was a rotational piece there as well, right?
And that's where he should live, in my opinion. I think Dante Fowler's a DPR, a designated pass rush, rotational guy. I don't think Dante Fowler's a 70% play guy who plays early on downs. That's something.
No, I'm not saying he should play 70%. I'm just saying, I'm saying collectively, right?
Well,
because everybody's
but here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, though. Without Micah, you do have to ask the rest of these guys who play more. That's just what happens. That's the domino effect. So now we go from Fowler being a designated pass rusher to is Fowler the early down guy, or is it Sam Williams and Marshawn Nealon? And if it's Sam Williams, I was actually hoping Sam Williams would take some, give him some grace and some period. But if he's getting thrown out there as a starter, how does that look coming off of the knee injury? So these guys are going to be asked to do something different than they had to do, likely because somebody is going to be starting opposite of Nealon that really at this point period in their career is not a full-time 70-75% play starter guy. You know what I mean? That's just somebody got to step up and take that mantle.
Right. My last thing, I'm going to get out of your way.
Good stuff.
Offense, right? For me, I feel like we've been very lackadaisical. It took too long getting the plays in. It get too long to get set up. With Shotty been emphasizing is up tempo, which is also a good thing when we play against dominant defenses. The faster the pace is, the more that I felt like we was giving a lot of defenses time to breathe in between plays, and then we getting a lot of 3 and out, so we keeping our defense on the field. How you feel about that?
Yeah, I'm excited to see that tempo. And what's dope about the tempo? It's not just no huddle. That's not the tempo that I think most people have been talking about at camp and stuff. It's going to be kind of that, what do they call it, like the sugar huddle or what have you, where, hey, we're like 2 yards behind the ball. We say 3 words, we're on it, snap. Like that's the kind of tempo.
Already know the play is, so you can get the play out already.
Yeah, it's not no huddle.
Talking 55 minutes.
Yeah, it's some, and then the other cool thing is, hey, maybe a couple plays, it is a normal type of huddle. And then the next 2 or 3 plays is sugar. The next 2 or 3 plays is no huddle. It's that tempo I do think can help the Cowboys. Now, until we figure out what this defense is going to be, you got to play a little bit of a game, right? Because what you don't want to do is you don't want to fall into Chip Kelly with the Eagles, where Chip Kelly came in and it was, oh, look at this cool, fast pace. Everybody on the, running up 10 seconds between plays. Suns offense, Mike D'Antoni offense. The problem with that is the minute you go 3, 4, or 5 and out, defense right back on the field. So they got to find that balance.
Sure. And discipline. I'm glad that we got some discipline and some structure with I think that was, even with that Packers game when they had that 4th and whatever it was down the field for 40 yards with Aaron Rodgers. It was like, where is the discipline? Where is the, you know what I mean? But anywho, I'm out of here, man. And every year I think we're going to win. I'm from Philly, and I live out in Central PA. And I go against Eagles fans all day long for a living. So every year, I think we're going to win.
Hey, I love that mentality, brother. Good stuff.
All right, boss.
From Philly in Central PA, I know the struggle dealing with these Eagle fans, man. I did before I was doing a Cowboys podcast, I had another show called the First Now podcast. And one of our first on-site shows was at Rookies. Then the second one was at Mr. G's. And if anybody's around here that know Mr. G, maybe the biggest Eagles bar in central Pennsylvania. It just so happened to be when they lost to the Seattle Seahawks in the playoffs. Boy, that felt so good being in that bar. Felt so good. But good stuff there. Yeah, I mean, look, if you're the type of fan that believe the Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl every year, then I can't really, we can't have a conversation of, we can't have a realistic conversation. But if you say, yeah, look, I think we're going to win every year, but let's be realistic about this aspect of the game. And that's where me and my man just had a conversation. Look, bro, I'm not the Cowboys winning the Super Bowl every year guy. It's not. I'm a one game at a time guy. I'm very understanding that, what it takes to win the bowl because we see the blueprint. I don't think the Cowboys have followed that blueprint. Thus, if the Cowboys are going to win a Super Bowl, how they're currently constructed and doing business is going to take a whole lot of luck and a whole lot of overcoming. And I'm just not ready to go there. So for me, bro, one game at a time, man. One game at a time. He ain't do enough for me to just be peacocking about the Super Bowl. I can't fake the funk to y'all, man. I cannot. I'm obligated to be as real as possible with y'all, with my fandom attached as well. Because I would love to just put the homer hat on and be blindly optimistic to things, but what have they done for me 30 years to just blindly be like we win in the Super Bowl all the time? I'm not doing that, bro. I need to hold them accountable sometimes. I gotta hold them accountable. So, one more, 215, another 215. Y'all calling? Right? What's good?
What's going on with you, Sky? This your boy Hoodie Kush from the basement.
Hold on, let me save Hoodie Kush. Oh, I ain't got you saved, bro. Hoodie Kush, what's up with you?
This is my personal number. I usually call you from my work phone. That
all right,
you probably already have.
That's probably why.
Still, you know what I mean? But I didn't know you lived in Lancaster, my man.
No. I'm not from Lancaster. I'm from Harrisburg. I live in Harrisburg, but you know, Harrisburg, Lancaster, Lebanon, York. It's all Central PA. Yeah, everything 20 minutes away.
Yeah. I'm from Southern Pennsylvania. I'm from Chester. I'm from like 5 minutes away from the pigeon coop. So you know.
Oh, you right there, yeah.
It's disgusting. You know what I'm saying? I got to deal with this. I got to deal with this vitriol from these pigeons day in and day out. Like two Super Bowls in the 30 years we ain't done shit means something. That tells me that you're trash. That means one in every 15 years you finally do something. That's not good odds, man. It's not good odds. But now, the question of the day for me is, with your 2027 first round pick that you got from the Packers,
yeah,
would you push that to go grab yourself Jonathan Taylor?
I saw y'all talking about him in the chat. I like Jonathan Taylor a lot. I ain't gonna lie to you, man.
Now keep in mind, Indy don't give a damn about offense. Daniel Jones is a starting quarterback, so obviously they don't give two dams about offense.
Let me say this, Hoodie.
I think it's possible.
I don't think you need to trade a first round pick to get him. So I'll say no.
All right.
Nah. I think there might be only one back you'll need to trade a first round, maybe two, but Bijan Robinson, yeah. It's probably it might be the one because he's still on a rookie contract. He got the 5th-year option, maybe Gibbs, but that's probably the only one that teams can really. You're not trading the first for Barkley. Ain't going nowhere. So you ain't doing that. You ain't doing it for Christian McCaffrey. You ain't doing it for Derrick Henry. You ain't doing it for Jacobs. You ain't doing it even for Taylor. To be honest, Bijan might be the only one that you could really entertain that conversation with.
All right, but would you be upset if we did trade for him?
Bijan?
Would it be like? And it doesn't. No. For JT, and it doesn't have to be a one. Now I understand he's under contract.
He is. I think he up for. He might be. Did he sign? Oh, he might have signed. Taylor.
He signed.
Yeah, I think he might have signed
2 years ago.
Yeah, he signed an extension. So he's only good through 26. So next year he'll be after next year. I mean, yeah, man. If I could get him for a late day 2, day 3, not late day 3, but day 2, day 3. It's something. Let's talk about it. Let's see what I can get back. I'll entertain it for sure. Just not for a first.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, okay, all right. I can deal with that. Listen, you're more knowledgeable than I am.
I don't say that. I just got a microphone, bro, and a camera, man.
I am. You've been doing it long enough, bro. Accept your flowers, okay?
Appreciate it, bro.
Accept your flowers.
Appreciate it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been watching for a minute, man. I'm trying to get in your world, man. Like, did a ton of live feeds, just speaking my mind. I mean, I'm not a capologist. I'm not the X's and O's guy. I don't do video. I just talk about what I see and how I feel. You know what I'm saying? And how I feel is these Eagles got a problem coming to them even without Micah. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's keep it a stack. We have a team that's, I would like to think, with the coaching staff that we have, that are better coached than we were under the McCarthy regime. I like to think that we may have, it remains to be seen yet, as far as the discipline of it comes. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to discipline, we'll see.
Yeah.
But if you look at it, like, even the offensive line, right? Connor Riley, Clayton Adams. Those two guys were highly touted guys. They're not the hodgepodge, you know You know what I'm saying? These guys actually made the moves. I've seen your videos, you know what I'm saying, talking about Clayton Adams and where he came from, the things that he's done. I've done a video on Kyle O'Reilly, you know, coming from his background, you know, being an All-American offensive lineman himself to being responsible for 15 more offensive linemen, Cooper Beebe included, you know what I'm saying, who were All-Americans. So, I mean, it's not like we don't have the pedigree when it comes to
I love the coaching. I love the coaching house. I love going to college, getting guys. I love the fact that Shotty understands I'm not the smartest man in the room, so let me bring in some help. My outlook on them in the offseason was more of a long-term outlook. You know, I do think there will be immediate impact for sure, because we've seen that with Clayton Adams. We even, I won't say immediate with Flus, but I'm optimistic on the coaching staff for a 3+ year period, because I don't think you'll get a guy to get poached maybe except Clayton, and that may take a couple of years. So yeah, I think long term this is a good staff. We're hoping that this staff puts it together for Thursday too, though.
I mean, and if you know, they say history is one of the best teachers. I mean, so if you look at history, the fact that what he did in Indy, what Clayton Adams did in Indy as far as the offensive line and the running game,
and Arizona,
it has to be commended. It has to be. What he's done in Arizona, you know, that has to be commended. So I mean, it's not like we just went out there and, you know, got Jeff Blasco. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't just go out there and get anybody.
Sleepy
He didn't go out
Solari,
there and get Solari, you know what I'm saying, who's been around for God knows how long, and just as archaic as the head coach was. You know what I'm saying? And even though Shotty's the play caller, I don't doubt that he will lean on his coaches when it comes to making those in-game adjustments. You know what I'm saying? And that's what gets me real hype about this team.
And
like I'm going to go ahead.
As we close out, let me say this, and we'll get into this tomorrow. Good tease for tomorrow. The one advantage, massive, that they do have going into this game offensively against their defense is the element of surprise. The 100% is, because a guy like and we'll talk about it tomorrow. But a guy like Vic Fangio, I mean, he when he understands tendencies, we've seen how difficult he can make it on Dak Prescott. But there is no tendencies. This is a completely different offense. It's going to be ran differently, called differently, the players used differently. That is the advantage they have, and he's going to have to make Vic adapt in game. Like somebody had mentioned, can he adapt? He's going to have to probably in game. As long as you take care of the ball and do what you got to do. I am excited for that, Hoodie.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, with that being said, man, it's your boy Hoodie Kush with the Basement Boys. You can find me on YouTube as of right now, on Facebook as well. I'm just happy to be able to connect with my man Sky. I hope we get to do it some more.
Basement Boys, man. Appreciate you. Good stuff. Good calls.
You already know, bro.
Man, if this is the first show to kick off the season as we look into the opponents in 2025 in general, buckle up, man. Buckle up. I say it all the time, win, lose, and draw, I'm here for it all. So no matter how the season goes, you can always report here in the mornings to get your Cowboys fix. Appreciate Lord Nova on the way out. He dropped 5 and said, say it with me. The Eagles. Period. Point blank period. We'll be back tomorrow to discuss this Cowboys offense against that Vic Fangio defense with my guy Cody from Match Quarters. So that'll be a good, honestly, educational day for me. I mean, this guy's fantastic at what he does. And I'm always, you can ask some of my football friends, I'm always hitting them up, whether they former players, former scouts, or coaching in Little League or high school or whatever. I'm always hitting them up like, hey, man, what's this? What's that? What does it? Because I'm always trying to learn. And Cody's a guy I look at as well in the sense of trying to learn. He's really good at what he does and diagnosing these defenses. So we'll be here tomorrow. Make sure y'all come through for that. Before you head out, if you enjoyed this show and you're new and you like what you see, whether you're a Cowboy fan or not, man, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, become a part of the Bomb Squad membership. With the season now here, the Bomb Squad insiders will be privy to a lot of the information I'm able to get from some of the connections we have down there. So that'll be kind of cool, kind of fun to do. Plus, we'll have other things going on as well. And yeah, hit that like button on the way out. Y'all were great today. Chat was lit. Phones were lit. I'm excited. Hey, and look, we got Eagle fans in here. Look, it's you know what I mean? And I understand y'all feel that way about us. And that's cool. I welcome that. I was born in that, molded by it. By the time I saw light, I was blinded. Want that smoke? I'm not scared of that smoke. Come on in. Just be respectful is all, man. Have a little fun with it. With that said, I got to get going, y'all. Got a lot to get to. I'm going to go ahead and press this button and get the heck out of here. Y'all have been fantastic. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Sky and 2i as well. Sky and 2i will be back. Probably drop tomorrow evening. So, jam-packed week, man. Jam-packed week. Molded by Lewis. I ain't going to lie. That's funny. That's funny. Hey, dog. You. Respectfully. We out of here. Love y'all. Peace.